I stick to my Coke Zero.
You're like, oh, what's happening?
We're recording a French full of rock shorts just there.
I'd say, hello.
I think for sure.
Hey, fuck, hey, that you can tell. Look at the shape of our hair. That's
mine is fucking. Mine is like. I haven't got a cut since December last year.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, you're rocking the fucking school shooter vibes. I'm loving it.
I stones and glass houses, lad. I think you should.
Me? Hold on a fucking minute. I had a beautiful 70s vibe going over the summer. Now I'm a fucking. Now I look like me ma gave me a 3 all over.
The only thing is Ma didn't give him a 3 all over. He actually just gave himself a 3 all over. Where's your new fade? You should.
Right, fuck. Oh no, I'm growing it back out, lad. They fucking.
Alright.
Trendsetter
is right thing. Yes.
A buzz cut. The thing that's been around for God knows how long. Trendsetter.
Alright guys, what's the crack? We're back after a long hiatus. The corona gripped us all and we couldn't get much done. We're back today, me and David, as usual. And we have a lovely guest from County Derry, a real true County Derry man. His name's Shea. He also runs a page called The Shoe Doctor. He's been stalking us for a while. He's been DMing us flat out. So we finally let him come on, even though he has more followers than us, but we'll say nothing about that. So Shea, what's the crack? Hey, how you getting on?
I get on pretty good. It's pretty hectic if I'm going to be honest, but can't really complain.
Hectic in what sense?
It's been a mad few months.
You busy?
Since very busy.
Good shit.
Busier than I expected. Like much busier than I expected to be. Was kind of just tapping along rightly with maybe like 2 or 3 pairs, 2 or 3 pairs a week, which is perfectly fine until the clothing company in England got in touch with me to do what was supposed to be a couple of pairs of shoes for a photo shoot. But when they got them, they decided to put them on their website, and it's kind of spiraled out from there. It was kind of nice because this is the uncertain period for me, was of money wise, and money usually doesn't bother me at all, but obviously when you quit your job, that's kind of important to have money.
Speaking on that as well, just to quickly throw on, just so if people don't know who you are, Shea.
Yes.
For example, why don't you give a wee brief overview of just what the Shoe Doctor is, what you're about, and what you can offer the people as a service, I suppose?
Well, I am a footwear customizer, essentially. That's what I am. So I either paint shoes or rework shoes, or it started off as just a hobby. I love painting. I was painting before I done the Shoe Doctor stuff, and then it kind of fizzled out. It wasn't any bother. It was painting with coffee. That's what it was.
You used to have a wee Instagram, didn't you? It was called SCG Design.
That was the OG. I've still got the Facebook page. The Facebook page is still live.
How about it?
You still use it?
Nah, like only if it was pulling pictures from it or something to get there, but it's not. It's pretty dormant now. It's not really.
Yeah.
It was just a page I made for when I was at uni, just to share my work. That was what it was. And then when I was at uni, I started painting again. So then I started sharing the paintings, and that's where that came from. So that was SCG Design. So now it's just the Shoe Doctor now.
Because I know, like, again, me snooping on your Instagram, like the stalker that I am. I seen it was like last year. It was the first photo. I found it was in May last year. The first photo that I found was you were like just talking about, I'm thinking of getting into customs, and it was one of the cycling shoes. Now I know nothing about the whole cycling shoe aspect of it. Walk me through the process of like drinking your coffee, spilling a bit, being all, geez, I could draw something out of there, to go into shoes and, customizing them, painting them up, and essentially then creating a business out of it. Like,
well, the coffee painting started was because I was just fucking bored, and my halls. Like I was in my halls mowing, and I wouldn't have been the most social person in the world at all. I didn't drink either, so I didn't drink when I was at uni. So
I don't even know either.
So
this is great for the family-friendly aspect that we're going for. Yes.
You know what? Survived 4 years of university with no drink. So then I started the coffee painting. It was kind of cool. Didn't really think much of it. I done one. Someone wanted it, and I was like, "It looks like shit." And they were like, "Nah, I want it." So give it to them. And then that person, they owned a coffee shop. They put it in the coffee shop. More people wanted, so I just kept knocking them out. We're all cycling related.
Yeah.
Cyclists love coffee and love stopping for coffee and coffee shops and stuff. So that's where that came from. But I got quite a bit of, not a lot of publicity, but I got some publicity. Some big pages. The pages are massive now. They're called GCN, Global Cycling Network.
Cool.
They shared stuff I done. And then I done a couple of paintings for a watch company. It was actually a watch company I really liked. And they seen me and they got me to do a couple of paintings for them. I got a couple of watches out of it, so it was kind of cool.
What's this watch company?
A bit easy.
They're called Camden Watch Company. So they're pretty good. Like little fact in one of the episodes of someone keeps sending me Instagram messages and just keep popping up on my screen. And in an episode of The Apprentice, you could see it in one of my paintings in there because into their shop. You can see the painting in the shop.
Didn't know I was talking to an A-lister.
Fair. But I kind of just drifted away from the coffee painting. It was good. Like I really did. I did enjoy it, but it just kind of fizzled out a wee bit. The last year of uni was pretty hard. Like so, I slowed down. I done maybe one more when I came back home here. And then I think I was bored, so I didn't have that painting anymore. And me and my mate started something, Pedal Pushers, which was to start a brand to try. But it was quite hard. I liked the idea of it, and that was like the next thing that was kind of cool to do. So it was the painting, and then it was this. It didn't work out. I tried pretty hard. I had just started a job, and he was living in Belgium, so it was hard to work out. I think it was maybe even like a year before I had talked about painting the shoes. And then I was like, that same mate was like, why don't you just fucking buy the paints and do it then? Instead of talking about it. And I was like, fuck, I might as well. So
if you want to do something, like, don't be talking about it, sort of get on it and do it.
Yeah,
I understand
that. That was them first shoes in the picture of them was those shoes. And even then, like, there was no, I think in the back of my head, I wasn't thinking about it, but in there somewhere was this could be a business, but it was not at the forefront of my mind. I was just, fuck, this is cool, fucking about. And then I was like, oh, well, I made these shoes better than they were. So I was like, oh, make a page and call it the Shoe Doctor. So that was where it began then. So
you've amassed like a pretty decent following.
Yeah.
Again, way better than us anyway. Like, but sure.
Well, yeah. I don't know about that. Man. We've got a loyal following. Cyclists, they're
a loyal following of alcoholics from Derry. I'm only joking.
Oh no, we are. We're the alcoholics from Derry.
Class, Shea, you know what I mean? Like, I personally love your stuff. I think like the way you do it, the way you carry yourself, like your drive for it is class. I just want to know a bit more about how a county dairyman, a great county dairyman, finds the motivation to sort of get out of your standard, your standard 9-to-5 job. Well,
everything just grew organically. As I say, it was never my intention to do this. I guess if you asked me this time last year, yes, this was where it was going. But 2 years ago, this was never even slightly in my mind. Because of how I was brought up with, obviously my parents didn't go to university or anything, so their idea for us all was to go to university and get a good job. That was how I was brought up. Not a bad way to be brought up. There's nothing wrong with that. But that was it. So then this was in my head. I always believed then this is, if I didn't follow that path, then that was it. I was going to fail. So while moving along and doing the shoes, I was like, oh, this is a cool hobby. This is never going to be a fucking job. But
like over the past 3, 4, 5 years, 5 years is maybe pushing it. You know, I've seen a lot of sort of people taking that leap and going down the creative path and like being self-employed and like owning their own business. And like, you know what I mean? They're their own boss. They can go out, they can still have a life, whatever. You know, I know especially now, again, going back to the whole corona, the old Rona virus. You know, people like myself, for example, I've actually got that 9-to-5 corporate job that I was just talking about. And to be fair, you know, I do like it, but you know, it's never crossed my mind that that's something that I personally would want to do the rest of my life. And I think, you know, especially in this day and age, just in the north of Ireland, really, and Ireland in general, there's a lot of really niche creatives coming out and really taking that leap to sort of go ahead and do what they want to do. So it's great to see, and you know, we're always going to back everybody, and especially yourself. You know, always been a sound fella, always following the podcast, and you know, we've always been back and forth with stuff like that. And in my opinion, that's what it's all about. You know, the support, and it's just people having crack with each other and just enjoying what they're doing and not making it a job, because it is what it is for some people. But it's also, in this creative industry, it's also about meeting people, having good crack, having a laugh, and having a life. It's essentially melding, you know, your work life and what life's about, and that's just having a bit of crack, having a bit of fun, and enjoying what you're doing. So you know, Shea, this is what I love about what you're doing, and like your motivations towards doing it. Would there be any artists that like would inspire you to like quit your job, sack it, get on the creative path and really do it for yourself?
Well, I'd say probably whenever you're saying about artists, and like you're talking about people from over here as well. Yeah. Northern Ireland Northern Ireland specifically isn't known as.
Where's that?
The designer.
What are you joking?
It wouldn't be known as like a designer heartland. Like it's not.
Yeah,
like,
true.
You wouldn't know it, but like there's so many people. There's so much going on that people don't like.
Absolutely.
And stuff going all around the world. Like it's not to say that this is wee piece of land in the middle of nowhere. Like I know someone I seen. But I can't remember if I've seen it through your page, or I don't know. I can't actually remember what the first time I seen Daniel was. That's sad sack. I was watching. He was doing live streams. He doesn't really do live streams as much. He was doing live streams like working on stuff.
The man's flat out. By the way, he's taken all the way off. Like, you know what I mean? He's one of the hardest workers I know. To be honest, at the minute.
So that was where I kind of seen, you know, middle of nowhere. Starting off a brand and pushing it and being around global, like my idea wasn't to be a brand at all. I was just starting something, that was it, and it was just cool to see him. He'd started it and it was going places, and I was like, fuck, well maybe there is maybe I can push on and do something myself. So that's whenever I started talking to Daniel, and then lo and behold, like 2 months later he came to me about collaborating with him.
The cat shoes.
And the cat shoes.
Yeah, which was like such a big thing. I remember Daniel telling me actually. I think we actually do we have a do we have a lovely photo? I feel like I should be doing like this kind of motion while it appears. I think those cat shoes are really underrated in regards to like the silhouette, the shoes that are really like hype now. But like that was obviously such a big thing for him as well.
It was a big thing for him, and it was a big thing for me as well, because at that I was getting to the point then when people were just knowing me for doing cycling shoes, and as much as I like cycling, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted just to do work on all footwear. So I was like, we only had 24 hours to get those done. So I was like, fuck. I was up literally all night. I worked all through the night. The next day to get them done, and drove to Belfast.
That's right, actually, because funny story about that. When you were getting those done, like me and Daniel were actually we were out getting up at 8 and having a few pints. It was like, man, I'm stressing. These are getting done and all. He's like, I'm so nervous and all this, and he was freaking out. I was sitting there like half sauced, all that. It's chill and all. Me, like having like no clue about like how big it was.
Yeah.
Like about how big it was for him and yourself as well. Do you know what I mean?
No, it was nice. It was cool. It was just cool as well to like work with, after following him for quite a while at that point as well. Yeah. And then he came to me to ask me to do something with him. So that was kind of nice. It was nice to do that. I enjoyed it as well, and that kind of broke me in then to the streetwear and getting to do more, some more trainers and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know like a big thing in like customizing shoes and that is like Air Force Ones. That's always like, like you go on Instagram and all. It's like
white canvas. That's what I could say.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's 15 pairs of them just here, something here to the left.
15 pairs.
So
don't fire me now. I want to touch back on something too, because you said at the start that you were doing it was with a shop in England. What shoe sort of stuff is that? What is that, with the streetwear sort of stuff, or is it with?
Yeah, so they're a brand in. We got in touch in LinkedIn. LinkedIn's actually something I started using. So I've been using LinkedIn for about like maybe 2 years. Huh?
You're sponsored by LinkedIn.
That's what I wish I was sponsored by.
Plugging it in. He's plugging it.
Instead of giving you money, giving you jobs.
It's really professional, and people. I was always at this always just for older man and woman, and no one really uses it. And I was listening to another podcast, Creative Rebels, and they had someone on talking, and they were talking about, just use it like you use your other social media platforms. So yeah. I've just been sharing and writing and posting as I do on this is come up saying looking for. Oh,
I know it's me, don't worry.
So I posted on it, and that's why we got connected on LinkedIn. And they back and forth a few messages, and they were like, "Oh, we photo shoot. Can you get something out for us?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I took a design from one of their recent collections and put it on a shoe and threw it over to them, and they loved it. I'm like, "Right, can you get them to us for this date?" And I was like, "No bother." And as soon as they got them, they're like, "Right, we're putting this on our website." And I was kind of at a point where I had like enough to get me by from then to Christmas. At that point, I was like, I was safe, and I was like, "Fuck, if I let these boys have this, God knows how many I could have. It could put me under P like massively." But it was all good. Like, they worked with me. I'm on order number 32. I think it's 32 orders.
The fact that you're getting these orders in, like I said, back to the times that we're in, like, it's so good, like in your market, especially because, do you know what I mean? You're not trying to go out and physically, like, in your hand, in front of somebody, sell them these. Do you know what I mean? It's like a totally online persona that is like, happy days, this is what I'm doing if you're interested. And like you said, you're using that LinkedIn as well.
It's like I went off on furlough for about 6 weeks, and I'd say I've been in a wee bubble since then. Essentially, when I went in furlough, that was essentially that was like the beginning of this. That was the big takeoff of the shoe doctor, because that was the first time I got real full time. That was proper full time every day, working on the shoes. And then that's whenever we get out here sorted, the surgery as such, as we call it.
The surgery, boys. Snip, snip.
So, I pretty much, I've just been in a wee bubble. I don't watch the news. I don't watch any shit. So I kind of,
when you're mentioned on it,
I keep my head down and just do my work. Like, and the corona has not caused any problems for me whatsoever. None. No one has ever quizzed me on it. No one has ever said, it's, to me, I know I'm not being ignorant to it. I know it's there and whatever it's doing, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. It's been non-existent to me. I just done my work.
Yeah. Jesus. Speaking of the coronavirus, I had it. Like, yeah.
He wouldn't shut up about it there.
What do you mean? I wouldn't shut up about it. I literally had this.
It wasn't that bad. I don't even think he had it. He was just pretending. Yes, I don't want to do it.
I was just pretending to extend my furlough. When I got it, I could not, and I mean could not smell or taste absolutely anything. It was the weirdest shit ever. I was in the gaff being like, everything I ate, like it didn't matter what I was making. It was just like everything tasted like the color grey. It was so shit. It was like the worst. No man, I was totally fine. I was like literally so fine. Like didn't feel sick whatsoever. But like the major thing for me was just could not, and I mean could not smell or taste anything. I was eating things that I would have never ate before in my life just because they were there. And it was like, what does it matter? Because it doesn't taste anything. I was like, I have a whole collection of hot sauces out there. I was like necking them. I was like nothing. I was like literally nothing.
No affected his body, Lou. He was on the toilet for like 3 hours. Coronavirus is like basically unaffected you then, like it hasn't really done anything.
Nah, not really. Other than when I was in work, like that was it. Someone you had to go through shit. It was worse when I was in work because see before that first major lockdown, I was just literally on BBC News all day. That was all I was doing was watching the news.
Bad for the brain, man.
I was shit, and then I was like, I said once I went in furlough, that's it. I'm stopping watching the news and stopping reading that shit because it just puts you down. So I was like, nah, look on the bright side, paint shoes.
Definitely, man. And like that's what I found so striking about like, that post you made in October. And it was like it really sort of because like for us in the Craic Boys, it was really a time in my life where I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I was like living up in Donegal. I was living up there with my parents. You know what I mean? I was just sort of enjoying being somewhere rural and being away from a city and being able to like go out and like go running, go swimming, go cycling, like out in the open, and like the weather was so good. And do you know what I mean? It was really a turning point for me where it was like the Craic Boys was pure on hold. I knew it was going to be because it was just like everybody, do you know what I mean, had a lot to deal with at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody could be on board as much as I would have wanted everybody to be. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone's job's in question too at that point. Like it's this isn't the time to explain it. This is why we're away or whatever. But that's the point though. It's like everyone's job's in question at that point. Like your mind isn't on doing a podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like, and even the people you bring on, like.
No, I had to be understanding of that too. I was that played in your mind as well. You're like, what's people going to think? That was all the problems leading up to me quitting my job. Was you're thinking, oh fuck, here's me quitting my job, and people's thankful they've got a job and shit they got there. You overthink every single thing.
Well, and I was like, problems are relative too. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's good for you. So,
like, and then it was just like, you know what? For the past year and a half, at that point, for the past year and a half, I just worked every possible hour I could on the shoes. There was weeks when I had just completely burnt out, and I had to take maybe a week off or 2 weeks off because I was just done. Because I'd maybe got up. Not slept for 2 days, just worked through, went to work, went to work, just grabbed coffee and breakfast and stuff I got there. I wasn't really doing anything with friends. I wasn't on the bike. I wasn't doing anything at all. And then I was like, now it's like I go to the gym every morning with my mate, like my best mate, and if someone calls me to do something, I can do it. It's just, and I'm working. So I maybe don't work 9 to 5 anymore, but I might come in here at 10 and work through to maybe 9 or 10 at night. So it's not, but it's not a task. I want to do it. It's not like, oh fuck, I have to go out here today.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the major difference in creating something yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's not even work for you. It's like,
no,
the benefits of it, monetary, obviously, and it's, you know what I mean, like your contacts, the people you meet, the people you meet, and like the availability and time, like you're your own boss. I feel like that's its own sort of payoff for it.
Yeah.
And Shea, it was great talking to you. You know what I mean? Big fan of what you're doing. We're just gonna give you the floor. Let us know what you got going on. Let us know upcoming projects and what we can expect from the Shoe Doctor.
Yep, cheers. Nah, it's been good. Good to get a podcast. My first podcast, so I can't actually started listening to podcasts. Craic Boys was the first podcast I started listening to, and that's all I listen to all day. Pretty much just podcasts. So.
Hopefully we'll make more, so you have actually more of us to listen to. We've been slacking.
It's going to be a pretty busy end of the year. Still working on with that 304 company, so I've got another maybe 15, 16 pairs to do now before Christmas, and other projects that I have that I'm working on. I'm working on my website. That's what I'm working on at the moment. Because so many people have been messaging me asking me for Christmas presents and stuff, but I can't do them because I've booked out since maybe October for December. So I was like, had to think ahead, so try and get a website up and running for some gift vouchers. So I'm going to have gift vouchers, hopefully have that sorted next week.
Nice. Very good.
And then as for next year, hopefully do more work with 304. Hopefully do some more work with Daniel, hopefully. What I really wanted to do, well, my aim for next year was to have my shoes in a Grand Tour, which is for cycling with Grand Tour. What actually happened unexpectedly with a pro called Harry Tanfield, who actually wore his in the Vuelta a España, which was it was complete off chance. It was, what it shouldn't have happened was he brought a spare pair of shoes or something, just in case something happened and he hurt his leg, and it was because of the shoes. So he had to switch shoes, and next thing, mines were on Eurosport and ITV. So that was a cool wee thing to happen. That was great. I got featured in quite a few big news cycling news websites and stuff after that. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I can get.
And there they are. Wow, the shoes.
There we are.
There they are, real time.
Oh, that's a real one. Oh, Jesus.
They are. You got the real ones right there. What are you saying about?
They're here for a wee bit of TLC, and then they're going back on a shelf again. So,
you know what? Just shit on me for having a photo of them. That's fine. Just get the real hang of it.
He's actually just signed. He's actually signed for another year there with another World Tour team. So, he's hopefully going to be going and doing another Grand Tour next year. So I've got that. I'd love to get him in the Tour de France. So Vuelta a España is great, but obviously Tour de France is the big one. And then other than that, I think I've actually done a collaboration with a guy who actually lives behind me. I mean, he lives less than 5-minute walk away. He is actually a massive football boot reseller. He's got like 40k followers. He's built that up over like something like 8 years, which I only found out last year, and he lives beside me that he does it.
Yeah.
So done a collaboration with him, and the boots went down really well. So we're going to try and do another pair of boots somebody got there, and I'm going to try and get a pair of boots into the Premier League. So that's going to be another big one to try and get into. So it's either one, but if I could do both, Tour de France and the Premier League, that would be kind of nice.
Nice one, Shea. You know what I mean, man. The sky's the limit. Fucking, I know you'll do it. Your drive and everything. I've no doubt that it'll happen for you.
Yeah.
Tour de France and Premier League, definitely keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's enough shite talking from me. Anyway, Jay, thanks a million.
Thank you.
Where's your socials? Drop your socials. Don't do the piece yet.
Oh, by the way, this last segment is always like edited like fuck, so it'll actually look sweet.
My Instagram's at the Shoe Doctor, and that's where I'm pretty much always at. And my Facebook page is at the Shoe Doctor. That's my socials. Instagram is the main spot. That's where everything is. So
yeah, get on it. Insta thoughts.
He's on Insta.
Jay, great chatting. Thanks very much for all this here.
Thank you too.
Thanks, Dave, for editing this in the future.
It's funny, wee sarcastic prick, alright? I do this for free. You should be...